Have you noticed how lack sneaks in quietly? It disguises itself as a casual thought. I can't afford that. It never works out for me. Maybe one day, but not today. Every time those words are spoken, lack gains ground. It lingers, it multiplies, and it begins to script the future before you even take a step into it. But there is one command, one phrase that cuts through lack like a blade of light through darkness. It is not a plea. It is not a wish. It is a command, and the universe has no choice but to obey it. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that the spoken word carries the force of divine law. She reminded us that our words are not casual sounds. They are decrees stamped upon the unseen substance of life. Every statement is a seed, and what you command grows. Now here's where most people get it wrong. They implore, they beg, they hope. And every time they do, they reinforce the very condition they want to escape. Please bring me money. You are confirming that money is missing. When you whisper, I wish abundance would find me, you are confirming that you do not have it. But when you speak with authority, when you issue a decree in alignment with divine law, the entire universe begins moving in your favor. The command that cancels lack is this: I am supplied, always, now. Let it settle. Say it slowly. Feel it as it moves from your lips to your chest, from your chest into the atmosphere. I am supplied, always, now. This is not just a positive thought. It is a spiritual law clothed in words. Every time it is spoken, you shut the door to lack and open the gates to provision. Because here's the truth: supply was never missing. It was only waiting for recognition, and recognition comes through command. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, how different would your life look if this command was the first thing on your tongue every morning and the last thing you spoke before sleep? Imagine it echoing through your day like a holy rhythm. Every bill, every need, every moment of uncertainty, met with a single unwavering decree. I am supplied, always, now. Let me tell you why this command is so powerful. Your subconscious mind, the part of you that runs silently in the background, never argues with you. It takes every word you speak as law. It does not distinguish between a joke, a wish, or a decree. It simply listens and obeys. When you say, I am supplied, always, now, your subconscious registers it as fact. It begins scanning for evidence to match it. It pulls your attention to opportunities you would have overlooked. It rearranges your focus to align with provision, not with lack. Florence Scovel Shinn compared words to boomerangs. They circle back with precision. When you throw lack into the atmosphere, lack returns. When you throw supply into the atmosphere, supply returns multiplied. And here is where the shift begins. Every time lack whispers, you answer with command. Every time doubt rises, you answer with command. Every time fear tells you there isn't enough, you silence it with, I am supplied, always, now. It's not just repetition, it's reclamation. It's the reclaiming of your authority over circumstances. Because divine law doesn't respond to desperation. It responds to certainty. and certainty is carried in your tone, your words, your decree. I want you to try something right now, not later, not tomorrow, right now. In the comments, write these words as your declaration. I am supplied, always now. Write it as if heaven itself is taking notes. Write it as a witness to your own command. Because every time you declare it in writing, you imprint it deeper on your mind and send it further into the unseen. And let me tell you this, the moment you shift from asking to commanding, life bends. The invisible rearranges. Doors that seemed locked will swing open with ease, not because you begged for it, but because you commanded it. I remember hearing a story about a woman who had lost nearly everything. Her business collapsed. Her savings evaporated. Friends she thought would help her quietly stepped away. Night after night, she sat in fear, rehearsing the same desperate words. What am I going to do? How will I survive? Where will the money come from? And then, someone handed her a small book of Florence Scovel Shinn's teachings. She turned to a single line that read, God is my supply. I am supplied. It struck her like lightning. She realized she had been commanding lack with every breath. So she made a vow. Every time fear spoke, she would answer back with one decree. I am supplied. Always. Now. The first few days, nothing looked different. But something inside her shifted. The panic began to quiet. The dread lost its grip. She kept speaking the words, not as a plea, but as a command. On the 7th day, she received a call. An old client wanted her back for a project she never thought she'd see again. That one call brought her enough income to cover every urgent bill. But here's the miracle. It wasn't just the money that returned. It was her certainty, her power, her authority to command rather than beg. That is the power of a single command. Not 100 frantic prayers, not endless worrying. Just one steady decree, spoken with faith and rhythm. I am supplied. Always, now. Do you see the pattern? It's not the outer circumstances that lead. It's the inner decree that leads, and circumstances rush to follow. And that's why I tell you, right here, right now, don't wait for proof before you speak it. Speak it until proof has no choice but to appear. Because the decree is always stronger than the delay. You might be wondering, why does this command work, even when everything around you seems lost? The answer is hidden in a mystery most people overlook. The universe does not respond to your outer conditions. It responds to your inner decree. It doesn't measure how much you have in the bank. It measures how certain your command sounds when it leaves your lips. That's why Florence Scovel Shinn insisted, do not voice lack, even when you see it. Speak only supply, and supply must come. She knew what most never realize, that circumstances are echoes, and echoes always follow the original sound. When you say, I am supplied, always, now, you are not lying to yourself. You are speaking the seed that will soon bloom into sight. Every decree is a seed, and every seed has a harvest time. Now, let me ask you something important. Have you been letting the echo dictate the command? Have you been looking at the empty wallet, the unpaid bill, the silence of opportunity, and then commanding more of it without realizing? If so, tonight is the night it ends. Tonight you shift from echo to origin. You stop being the follower of lack, and you become the commander of wealth. And here's the secret most people never learn. One steady decree, spoken with authority, can undo months, even years, of speaking lack. Because divine law is not counting your mistakes. It is waiting for your alignment. If you feel that alignment rising in you, I want you to do something powerful. Pause and hit that subscribe button. Stay connected to these decrees, because wealth flows faster when you live in an atmosphere where words are spoken with faith. This channel is not entertainment. It's an altar for your words. And when you stay near the altar, your fire never goes out. Now let's bring this command into your daily life, because power is not in speaking it once, but in weaving it into the rhythm of your entire day. When you wake up in the morning, before you reach for your phone, before you remember yesterday's worries, let the first words on your lips be, I am supplied, always, now. Say it as if heaven is listening. Say it as if your day is already unfolding in your favor. Because the truth is, it is. When fear comes in the middle of the day, when a bill arrives, or an opportunity looks uncertain, don't let panic be your first response. Let command be your first response. Say it firmly, not as a question, not as a plea, but as a decree. I am supplied, always, now. And when the night comes, when your head rests on the pillow, and your mind wants to replay every problem, silence it with one sentence. Speak it like a lullaby to your own soul. I am supplied, always, now. Morning, noon, and night. Fear, doubt, and delay. One command cancels them all. Florence Scovel Shinn taught that repetition of truth engraves it upon the subconscious until it becomes your nature. And once it is your nature, the outer world has no choice but to conform. Do you see how simple this is? Not complicated rituals, not endless steps, just a single command, spoken with rhythm, spoken with certainty, spoken until it becomes the pulse of your being. Let me ask you something. Will you try it for the next 7 days? Will you give yourself 7 days of unwavering command and watch what changes? If you are ready, write this below as your pledge. 7 days of command, I am supplied, always, now. Because when you speak it and when you write it, you set it in motion twice, once in sound and once in sight, and the law of supply answers both. And now, beloved soul, let me leave you with this final truth. You were never created for lack. You were never meant to chase scraps or live in the shadow of fear. Divine law has written supply into your very being. But here's the mystery. Supply does not arrive by accident. It responds to command. It listens for certainty. It bends to the decree of one who knows who they are. So every time you feel lack pressing in, remember this. You are not powerless. You are not voiceless. You are not forgotten. You carry the command that cancels lack instantly. Say it with me one last time. I am supplied, always, now. Let it echo in your spirit. Let it vibrate through your day. Let it be the rhythm that silences every whisper of fear. And when you look back weeks from now, you will see that what shifted was not the world first. It was your word. And the world simply had no choice but to follow. So go ahead, speak it, write it, live it. And if this teaching has ignited something within you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe, join this community of command, and let your life Be surrounded with voices that refuse to beg and choose to decree. Because prosperity does not come to the desperate. It comes to the decisive. It comes to those who command. And starting now, that's you.